Musser, he is looking to go back-to-back. He is on your right. Greenlight Company, Eldrazi Trial going to be underway here in just a moment from Richmond. Do want to thank everybody out there for joining us here on this beautiful Saturday from the River City at SCG Tour, hashtag SCGRICH. Join in the conversation all weekend long as we begin round number 5. A Forest for Nance, an Urzatron piece here for Musser. There's a Ghost Quarter, one of many, because Musser's going to play a power, nope. Nope. Yep. Power plant, expedition map, pass the turn back.
Yeah, and this is a little funny, this situation, because Hunter obviously highly incentivized to Ghost Quarter his opponent, but he also didn't have a 2-mana play last turn. So if he uses it, it's going to be another turn where he doesn't have a play, and he's almost letting Dan time walk him.
And this is the turn, really, where he'd like to deploy Knight of the Reliquary or something.
Yes.
You know, some 3-mana spell, because he has so many in his deck.
Yes.
He's got like a Nissa Vastwood series, he's got Tracker, he's got Finks. Just he wants to work himself towards company, and it looks like he is tapping out to play Knight of the Reliquary. There you go. Now, does Musser have that missing Tron piece? He's got a mine and a power plant. Tower plus big spell. Well, I see the tower. I wonder how he won last week. Let the carnage begin.
Ooh, carnage. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
You get that?
Wow.
Yeah, thought of that myself. Karn's going to take care of Knight of the Reliquary, and this game just got real tough for Hunter.
I'll say.
Maybe he doesn't have the Tron piece. He won last week.
He always has it.
Of course he has the Tron piece.
That's what you're saying?
He's 4-0. Of course he has the Tron piece.
They always have it.
They sure do.
Those sons of guns.
I'm a Tron veteran. They have it.
Did you always have it?
I would peel it a lot, honestly.
So you never had it?
I didn't have it, but I would peel it a lot. Here's another copy Knight of the Reliquary, and now Ghost Quarter's going to go after the Urza's Tower. Wastes on the way here for Musser. Couple copies of that card in his deck. He's got 2 in the main.
Sure, and you know, with that map, he can crack the map, get another tower, and be back online with 5 mana available to him next turn.
Now this Tron deck, not as redundant as like the green-black version that that Jim is playing. You know, this Tron deck doesn't rebuild Tron as often or as well because it doesn't have Scrying and Ancient Stirrings and all the chromatic cycling effects. But this is a situation where it can rebuild if it wants to. And now it just kind of depends on how Dan wants to go about using this Karn, how he wants to use this map, and what else he wants to do this turn. Looks like he's going to start with an Expedition map. And there is the Tower of Power. Musser will shuffle, present. And I'm curious to see what his turn will be. That's going to be a Thought Knots here. Get an idea of what is Hunter working with. Take a look at Hunter's hand. He's got a Ramunap Excavator, a Horizon Canopy. Looks like a Voice of Resurgence, perhaps.
And a mystery card.
Yeah. Now, Hunter should know better.
Yeah, thanks for helping us out, guys. Both of them.
Yeah, been on camera before.
Both of them.
Might not be on camera again with behavior like this. Unbelievable.
There'll be repercussions.
Yeah. Gonna get Nick Miller on this one. Tireless Tracker. That's the mystery card. Ramunap Excavator will be exiled from the Thought Knots here. Now it's a question of how does Dan want to use the Karn? Does he want to take care of Knight of the Reliquary and lose his Karn for good? Or would he like to move the elevator up?
Yeah, and both of them seem like pretty appealing options here. Yeah, just
going to use Karn as a double removal spell? Fair enough.
Just.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go back over to Hunter. He'll play a Tireless Tracker. It's going to get a land. That means he's going to play it means he's going to get a clue. And simply pass the turn back over to Dan Musser.
Nice clue token.
Not a bad Max McVitie clue token. Musser's got a bunch of mana. I think we might be smashing some realities here in a second. Yes, we are. So not only was he able to play a Karn turn 3 and mess up Hunter's game plan, now he's able to clock him in a big way too, Craig.
Yep. Yeah, and I was a little interested to see how this game would play out if he went up with Karn, and he's forcing Hunter to play the Karn game, so to speak. Every turn, Hunter just has to be 100% focused on trying to get Karn off of the board.
Yep.
But with the way Dan's hand was lined up, I could definitely see why he took this route.
It's a Courser of Crewfix. Top card is a Nissa Vastwood Seer. So Hunter's going to play a Verdant Catacombs, get another clue. Going to sacrifice that Catacombs, lose a life, get a clue, gain a life from the Courser, and then he'll be able to sacrifice the clue to make the tracker a little bit larger. So he's kind of got this engine going.
Yes.
Now at this point.
Yeah, it'll provide him with a decent stream of cards, a lot of clues, but I don't think the game is going to last long enough for all of these clues to be relevant.
Yeah, that's the big question, is Birds of Paradise is the top card of the deck, and now Hunter's just going to pass the turn back. So Musser's going to untap. Sanctum of Ugin in hand. Urza's Tower 2. And he's also got the Dustbuster in All's Dust. And I think he might have some interest in casting that this turn.
Yeah, this is going to be huge.
And what's nice here is that this is also going to trigger Sanctum of Ugin.
Yeah, that's why it's huge.
Attention Magic players, this is the last call to register for the 3 p.m.
And I'm curious to see what he wants to search for. Well, Ballista means he can just end the game right now. So he's going to attack here for 9, play Walking Ballista, shoot you for 2. And it's almost like the guy who won with this deck last week knows exactly how his deck works. That's really weird, as Dan Musser's going to win game number 1 here over Hunter Nance. E-Tron very quickly up a game here over Green-White Company.
Yeah, made it look pretty easy. In control of that game the whole way.
Yeah.
Able to just close it out on that turn. Impressive.
We take a look at the sideboards here. Hunter's going to need some help. Hopefully he's got some. 3 Surgical Extraction, 2 Stony Silence, a Bajuka Bog, an Aven Mind Center, a Linvala Keeper of Silence, a Scavenging Ooze, a Kosali Pride Mage, a Warship. I can't help but look at Hunter as he's just throwing cards down from the sideboard that he's going to bring in. A Blessed Alliance.
Take that. Yeah. Take that.
A Kataki War's Wage, a Whisperwood Elemental, another copy of Ramunep Excavator. What's Hunter slamming down in front of us?
So I like a lot of these cards. They're all good in kind of different situations. The Surgical Extractions can be very strong after you Ghost Quarter your opponent. We've seen that type of play before. The Stony Silence can be okay in certain situations. The Aven Mind Sensor can kind of mess your opponent up if they're searching their deck for a very specific effect. The Worship is a card that you can hide behind. The Scavenging Ooze can eat some key graveyard cards. The Blessed Alliance shut down an attacker. The Whisperwood Elemental allows him to get a little bigger. But all of that being said, like all of this gets negated against the right draw from Dan Musser. He brings in these specific sideboard cards, and all his stuff just blows up his whole board, and it just doesn't even matter anymore. So I like a pretty big sideboarding swap here for Hunter Nance. The question is, does Dan just negate all of it with the right card?
Well, we're going to have to find out. Now, Dan has a sideboard 2, and he's got a lot of 2-ups here and a couple 1-ups. So 2 Cages, 2 Hangerback Walkers, 2 Ratchet Bomb, 2 Relic of Progenitus, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Warping Whale, along with the Basilisk Collar that can combo up very nicely, of course, with Walking Ballista, a Pithing Needle, which I think's got to come in against Knight, and then Crucible of Worlds.
Yeah, the Pithing Needle seems good at shutting down Knight of the Reliquary. The Basilisk Collar is great with all the ping effects. I could even see potentially the Relic of Progenitus when Hunter's deck shows up with Ramunep Excavators, cards like that where he can replay the cards out of the graveyard. A cycling graveyard hate effect can be very effective against that.
So those are the options there for both players. We'll be underway here in just a moment, but let's talk about that StarCityGames.com weekly sale, shall we? Where you can save up to 50% off of select standard staples, including Gideon, the Scorpion God, Heart of Kirin, and I guess Oasis is a staple. Let's go with that. Go. That's StarCityGames.com/weekly sale for more information. Sale's going to end on Monday at 10:59 a.m., but we got a new sale for you on Monday morning at 11 a.m. Again, go to StarCityGames.com/weekly sale. You'd be smart to just bookmark that link.
Staple, not a staple. Call it whatever you want, but save a little money, buy some.
Never a bad thing, as we're going to watch Dan Musser play a little bit more Magic here in just a moment. He won last weekend as we learn a little bit more about the Akron, Ohio native. 32 years old with 11 top 8s and 2 wins. Again, won last weekend when we were in Syracuse. He's a mathematician, big master's degree, smart guy. Big fan of Pikachu, and an even bigger fan of T-Swizzle.
Yeah, bigger than you, we learned last week.
That's correct. I'm a big T-Swizzle fan, but nobody can touch Dan Musser and his love for Taylor Swift.
You couldn't even name 3 Taylor Swift songs.
That actually didn't happen, and you're having a bad memory. That was you. That was you who couldn't.
As I recall, I described some songs.
You did describe 3 songs, but you could not name 3.
You gave the names of the songs, and then you almost immediately said, wait, I named the wrong
I
songs.
got one wrong. No, I got one wrong, and accidents happen. Nobody's perfect. Okay? Case in point, you can't name 5 Taylor Swift songs.
We already proved this last week when I couldn't name 3.
Yeah. So, like I said, nobody's perfect.
You think I was studying up over the last 7 days to come here and name more?
If you were smart, you would have been. We see a Noble Hierarch off of Temple Garden as Nance is going to fall down to 18 to start this game. There's his power play into an expedition map here for Dan Musser. See if Hunter can power out a 3-drop ahead of schedule, because that's what this deck does best. He's got a Courser Prefix. Maybe not the 3-drop that he wanted. I think now the Reliquary would be preferred as it reveals a Path to Exile. Musser had the Tron on turn 3 last game. We'll see if he can assemble the Tron on turn 3 this game. You see an Eldrazi Temple in his hand. I think a Cavern of Souls too. So no turn 3 Tron, which means no turn 3 Karn here for Hunter to have to worry about. Now we'll see a Grafdigger's Cage, which will slow down Collected Company, and a Relic of Progenitus, which will start attacking the graveyard. We're going to go over to Hunter Nance. Top card is a Knight of the Reliquary.
Yeah, we're going to keep that bad boy small.
See Hunter taking a look at Grafdigger's Cage. We'll do the same. Pretty powerful artifact against certain strategies here in Modern. Simple at 1 mana. Doesn't have a negative impact on Musser's deck. As here comes the Courser for 3, given the Exalted trigger. And creature cards can't enter the battlefield from graveyards or libraries. It's going to slow down Old Collected Company. Players can't cast cards in graveyards or libraries. Tracker, Ghost Quarter, Clue Token, blow up your temple. There's an activation of the Relic. Ghost Quarter is going to slow down the temple. Of course, we know Dan's going to search up a waste. He's got 2 of those in his main deck, and they're not both in his hand. And you can save on those on the on the sale. You can save on those wastes. Don't forget that.
Look, see how it works?
Yeah.
We feature them in the sale. They're on camera.
This is no accident.
Yeah.
Nick Miller is very good at his job.
All synergies here.
Very good.
Jokes aside, this is the start that Hunter Nance needed, where he got pressure on the board real quick and disrupted his opponent's mana base at the same time.
Yeah, that's the 1-2 punch, right? Mattery Shaper. As Cavern is on Eldrazi. Hunter wants to take a look at the 3-2 for 3. And it is very pathable. As Whisperwood Elemental, the top card of the deck here for Mr. Nance. There's Horizon Canopy, which means a clue and a life. The Value Town engine starting to get online.
Vroom.
Indeed. Starting to get online. Slow build.
Yeah, you describe that Matter Shaper as very pathable.
Yes.
The question is, do you want to give your opponent a guaranteed land in play?
That's the question.
Which I don't think you do when you're this far ahead against the Tron deck. The only way for them to catch up is with very expensive plays.
Here comes Courser. It'll be a 3-5 when attacking, given the Exalted trigger from Noble Hierarch. Into a 3-2 Mattery Shaper. And it looks like Musser's happy to block. Trigger. Thought Not Seer going to go to the hand. 3 mana. I think it might be time for Knight of the Reliquary here. It is. Can't activate it just yet, but you see just how important these 1-drops are, because we just see 3 3-mana spells again and again and again.
Yep.
Here in Knight, Courser, and Tireless Tracker. So if you're Hunter Nance, you got to have a hand if we play a third game that's got a Birds or a Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, turn 1 Accelerant and then turn 2 impactful plays.
Yeah. That's what it's all about.
Two Many Giants, Sealed Spectacular players, your next round pairings are posted at the gathering point. Please.
It'll be a waste here for Dan. And now there's a Thought Not Seer. Worth noting that the second waste means, as he's looking at 2 paths, that he will not get to search up a land from Ghost Quarter or Path anymore.
Awkward.
A little bit. Path is going to take care of that. Dan won't search, but Hunter will draw from the Thought Not Seer dying. He's also going to lose that path to the Relic of Progenitus. And Hunter says, I'm going to draw my card now if that's okay. And he'll draw Wishwood Elemental. Top card is a Horizon Canopy, so that'll be his draw step for the turn. Unless he wants to activate Night of the Reliquary first. Nope, he'll just draw. Top card now, Path to Exile.
They're all good.
None of them are bad right now for Hunter Nance, that's for sure. None of them are bad. And this is where this Green White Company deck becomes so tough to beat. Because you've got Tracker drawing cards, you've got Courser drawing cards, you've got Night of the Reliquary, finding Ghost Quarters, and getting you more clues for Tracker. This is where things get tough, Greg.
Yeah, you can see it's just so wide. Each of his creatures has provided some amount of utility in this game. And, you know, I really like... I don't think it matters. I don't think there's anything that Hunter can do here where he would end up losing the game. But I like playing the Whisperwood Elemental here. You actually go just a little bit wider. With, you know, it's going to make the manifests each turn.
Yep.
And it has this insurance policy where if Dan has some sort of sweeper effect, you can sacrifice it and put the manifest ability on all of your other creatures for when they die.
Yep. And now we're just looking at a one-turn clock, really. I don't even know what Musser's best play is this turn now. That assumes that there is one.
Yeah, you can't complete Tron next turn, so he's just in a world of trouble.
You know, Reality Smasher, Walking Ballista, so on and so forth. You see, how does this work here with Grafdigger's Cage?
Interesting rules interaction.
Yeah, because manifesting is putting a card, sort of, with what Cage says of creatures can't enter the play from library. They're not really, but they sort of are, so we may have to call over the old head judge, perhaps.
These two cards were not designed at the same time.
No, they were not.
And it looks like the ruling was he cannot manifest.
All right, well, then he can't. So we go over to Musser, who's got another Thought-Knot Serenade. He's got an Endbringer, which he's a little ways away from. I don't know how many turns Dan Musser's got left in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's staring down the Path to Exile on top of his opponent's deck right now.
That's
so
also maybe a problem. Musser's going to sacrifice the Relic of Progenitus. Graveyards are all gone. Hunter's is already all exiled, so that won't be a problem. He'll draw a card, will Musser. Picked up a copy of Urza's Mind, it looked like. But again, that's not going to complete the Tron. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we were to block Wishput Elemental, just trying to see if there's a way for Musser to get another turn out of this game.
yeah, the problem is he can't block.
Right, Path to Exile. Right, good card. Untap, draw, top card, Surgical Extraction. All right, get your info.
Yeah, and I really like what Dan did here.
There's Path.
He's actually going to see another card.
Yep. And there's Tracker. And now he's ready to concede.
Yeah.
I don't know, I like getting a little information there because now you know that your opponent has Ghost Quarter plus Surgical against you. Now, I don't know how much he can do about it, but he knows for sure now.
Well, it gives him the option to potentially search up an Eldrazi piece.
Like a Temple?
A Temple instead of a Tron piece.
Okay.
Early in the game, if that does a lot for him.
Yeah, that actually is pretty nice, too, because you take a look. Now, Hunter does have 3 Surgical Extractions, so I have to imagine that's the game plan, which is Surgical plus Ghost Quarter.
Sure.
And maybe Dan knew that, maybe he didn't, but now he definitely knows now. And it's nice to have that reassurance as Hunter Nance is going to tie things up here against Dan Musser. Green White Company, Eldrazi Tron, going to get ready here for game number 3. So Hunter's going back to the drawing board a little bit, and Dan's taking a look at things, too. But I'm with you. You know, he played out that game. He's dead. But that's why you don't concede.
Yeah.
It's a really good example.
Just a couple of extra cards, and the information there from the Surgical Extraction could be huge moving forward.
Yeah, so Hunter, will he change anything? I'm not entirely sure. You know, Surgical plus Ghost Quarter is a good plan here. Wishput Elemental, is that a card you want on the draw? It's slow.
It is slow, but if the card that you're scared of most is something like All Is Dust, you know, it can potentially just be very, very good if your opponent All Is Dusts.
Yeah, I guess it could be okay. It just, 5 mana on the draw just seems like so much to me, especially when you're playing it's like a Thought-Knot Seer deck. But it could be a good top deck.
It's a lot. It creates a bunch of threats by itself, which is good. You know, Hunter is ramping with a lot of these small creatures, and then he is trying to disrupt his opponent's mana base. So I could definitely see a decent percentage of the games going where he can deploy this 5-drop.
Well, these players are going to shuffle up here very quickly. It'll be Dan Musser on the play. So let's very quickly talk about that StarCityGames.com YouTube page, which we'd love for you to subscribe to. Be one of over 120,000 subscribers at this point, so you can get those daily updates of Split Second, hosted by Star City's own Jeremy Knoll. You can get some Versus Series replays for you by Brad, Tom, Todd, and Ross. Double Todd. We got Commander Versus with Jeremy, John Suarez, The American Dream, Stephen Green, and Justin Parnell, your wonderful host. We got Magic Online playtesting with Jerry Thompson, Ari Lack, Sean McLaren, Sam Black, many more, and Best of SCG Tour. Subscribe today, once again, at youtube.com/StarCityGames. Become one of over 120,000 subscribers. We want to thank each and every single one of you for supporting all the content we do put on our YouTube page. And we got more unique and awesome stuff coming down the old pipeline, as they say, as we get ready here for game number 3 between Nance and Musser. And we learn a little bit more about your Green-White Company player who we saw in the Players' Championship a little while ago. That's Hunter Nance, who's 24 years old, from Raleigh, North Carolina, not too far from here, who's got 6 open top 8s. Looking for number 7 here this weekend in Richmond. Wrote a guide on optimal ordering strategies at Cookout. It's definitely something to be passionate about.
Wait, you need to share what Cookout is for the people at home.
Give me one moment.
Okay,
As he's yet to find an orange-colored dipping sauce that isn't great. And he's obsessed with cats. Did you learn a little bit more about your Green-White Company player? Cookout is a fast food joint in the South where you can get a whole lot for just very little. With regards to food in exchange for money, you get a lot of food for a little money.
Sure, it's not just a lot of food, though. It's a lot of options of food.
That's correct. Side dishes include quesadillas, corn dogs, fries, obviously, and a whole bunch more. It's a wild ride. All I can tell you to do is Google it and check out the menu, because you get a lot of money for very little. You get a lot of food for very little money. So I guess you can do optimal ordering. I have not read Hunter's guide. Not sure if it's published anywhere, but he's very passionate about Cookout. I do know that.
Well, we swung by the Cookout.
We did. There's one in Roanoke, right near Star City Games, when we were there for the Invitational. Stopped by for some shakes.
Oh, yeah.
I got a burger as well. I was kind of hungry, and it's more of like a cup of ice cream, if that's your thing.
It is my thing.
Yeah, so their shakes aren't blended all that much. So like if I wanted a cup of ice cream or like a Blizzard, that's what I'd get. So I was not giving Cookout the beats here. I just wanted to blend it up a little more, because milkshakes, that's what the straw's for.
No, well, the way you described it, it makes it sound like it's a piece of ice cream floating in some milk.
Yeah.
That's not really the case to me.
Yeah, that's not. I would agree with that.
Okay, it's just really thick.
It's just super thick.
Yes.
Yeah. And I like thinner milkshakes.
Sure, you just want more milk in your milkshake.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I have no problem with the thick milkshake.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan. Having the difficulty of sucking it through a straw, like it's super hard at Cookout, I don't like that.
No, yeah, I did consume most of it with a spoon.
Yeah, I don't like my shakes with a spoon. For those of you keeping track and want to buy me a milkshake. I know there are many people at home that would like.
Or, if you tweet at him, we'll give all tweeters your address, and they can just mail you a milkshake.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We'll go that route.
Okay. That's a good use of your time and money to mail me a milkshake, so please. And Cedric A. Phillips, fire away. I'm only accepting cookies and cream milkshake, by the way.
He'll take whatever you send him.
That's not true. That's not true. Cookies and cream is number 1 on the list.
How many milkshake options were there at Cookout?
43.
It was.
That's just a random guess.
Some ridiculous number of 40-ish milkshake
It's definitely
flavors.
40 plus. I think it is 43, which is 42 too many.
Yeah.
Because there's one shake, and it's cookies and cream. That's it.
And no, that's not true at all.
One shake. We've got a Cavern of Souls here naming Eldrazi.
There's lots of delicious milkshakes out there.
Hey, are there?
And I had trouble deciding, so I actually bought 2.
That's true.
And then I let our Uber driver take one.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice Craig Grumples. An Eldrazi Temple. And is there a follow-up play here from the Mussman? There is in Grafdigger's Cage. Now he'll pass the turn back over to Hunter Nance.
He won't have to worry about Dryad Arbor anymore this game.
Yes, he's safe. He is very safe. Or anything that Green Sun Zenith may search up if that card becomes unbanned during Game 3 of this match.
Such as Dryad Arbor.
Yes. We've come full circle. Let's see what Hunter's second turn is going to be, because I mentioned at the back end of Game 2 it's pretty important for him to have a one-man accelerate. He does not have one.
Yeah, they each mulligan this game, so there's a lot of 6-card hands where you just have to keep them. They're good enough to keep. But optimally, he wanted that 1 drop so that he could be playing 3 drops on turn 2.
It's a Plains there for Nance. It's a Reality Smasher here
Oof.
from Musser. And it doesn't even look like Nance has a path to exile. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's huge.
And now this is one of those hands where Ghost Quarter plus Surgical doesn't look to be very good.
Yeah, it looks like he has that online here, and it just would not help him at all.
Now the Reliquary has arrived, but it's not big enough to tangle with the Reality Smasher just yet, so Nance is going to fall down to 10. A Power Plant, and is there an Endbringer on the way for Musser? It looks like the answer is no, so we just head back over to Hunter Nance. He will draw a card. That's Ghost Quarter number 2. He'll pass.
And Dan's thinking, does he want to use this Expedition map? He kind of tips his hand a little bit if he sacrifices it now.
Okay.
You know, he shows his opponent exactly which land is important to him, and when you're looking at 2 Ghost Quarters, you don't necessarily want them to know which land is the most important to you.
It's also kind of tough, too, because Hunter has the ability to turn his Knight into a 6/6.
Yes.
Very easily, which is activate Ghost Quarter, destroy one of your lands, activate Ghost Quarter, destroy one of your lands. It makes it a 4/4. Then activate out of the Reliquary, search up a fetch land, make it a 5/5. He could also Ghost Quarter himself.
Yep.
Make it a 6/6 if he wants to. So this gets a little bit tough here for Musser if he doesn't draw something like a Dismember. And it looks like he might just have all lands in hand. Maybe has Karn Liberated.
I believe it's an All Is Dust is the last card that he drew, which is a pretty great payoff card for him.
There's the Dustbuster thanks to the Temples.
And this is the situation where he's going, man, I really wish I had sacrificed this map. I could have gotten the Sanctum.
Well, sort of, right? If you're Dan, you're actually just happy you didn't get Ghost Quartered.
Sure.
Because that turn, he didn't play a second Temple, so he played another land. So it is one of those times where I wish I would have Sanctum perhaps.
Sure.
But the fact that Hunter didn't Ghost Quarter one of these Temples, he's using the Temples to cast the All Is Dust. That's a pretty big deal, where this wasn't an option before, and Hunter was looking to maybe tangle.
Well, I
with
certainly,
Reality Smasher.
yeah, I understand why Hunter didn't do it. Like you said, there's the Reality Smasher. There are other utility lands in Dan's deck, and he's got that map in play. So if he wants to go get Seagate Wreckage, you know, Hunter definitely doesn't want to have his opponent have a Seagate Wreckage online.
Yeah, definitely not.
If he went and got a Sanctum Mavugin and he couldn't sacrifice it right away, Hunter would definitely want to get that card off of the board. If Dan moved closer to going Tron route, he'd want to get one of the Tron pieces off of the board. So there's just too many cards that he really wanted to interact with that allowed Dan to keep his Temples.
Hunter's going to float a green and activate the Knight of the Reliquary to draw a card. And I think the hope here is that he peels a Path to Exile. Because if not, Reality Smasher's causing a whole lot of problems this game.
Yeah, it's a quick clock.
So, Hunter Nance, come on, top of deck. Didn't get a great look at it. Looks like it may have been a Plains. I don't think he's got a path already, because if he had, he would have done that by now. So, here comes Smasher. It's 5 more. Gonna knock Nance down to 5. Musser is all in on this 5/5 haster.
And it's working.
Yeah, so far so good. 3 attacks, 1 more to cross the finish line. We go over to Nance. He'll draw. Looks like he may have picked up a copy of Selfless Spirit.
No.
Actually, no, I think he picked up a Path.
It was the Path to Exile.
All right, he's alive, folks. He is live.
It was good, but not great.
Well, hey, it's an answer. He's got plenty of cards to discard.
That is certainly true.
So he gets to play on. Now the question is, can he play on while maybe playing around a top-decked Reality Smasher? Does he have a way to do that?
Yeah, I can't imagine he does. It's one of those situations where, you know, you get this Smasher off the table, you get some pressure on the board, and you just try to kill Musser as quick as possible. You know, he has so many haymakers in his deck. Even if it's not a Reality Smasher, it might be, you know, Karn or a giant Walking Ballista or who knows what else. So you stop worrying about what he can draw and just get him as dead as quick as possible.
It's another Plains, and oof, no green mana, it looks like. Yikes. All right, let's go back over to Musser. No upkeep effects, draw a card. May have been a Thought Knot Seer.
Looked like Thought Knot Seer.
There are worse draws, and that's a good way to lead things off. So for Musser, he'll play a Thought-Knot Seer. There will be an enters the battlefield trigger. Let me get a look at that hand, shall we? Hunter, I think might have a response.
Yeah. Probably don't lay your hand out yet, Hunter.
No. Unfortunately for Hunter, Thought-Knot Seer is only a 4/4. So this means he'll, as things currently stand, get 2 turns.
Yeah. It'll take Dan 2 attacks to finish the game. 2 uncontested attacks.
Yep. And I'm curious to see what Hunter's hand is after he paths. Trigger. Didn't get a great look at what he exiled or discarded. It was a Whispered Elemental, which, to be fair, is pretty long way away from.
Yep.
Dan's going to search up a waste. Now there's your trigger. Surgical, Collected Company, Gaffney Township, Ghost Quarter. PU! That hand stinks.
Well, and taking Collected Company is pretty great here. You know, you don't want the Surgical Extraction, right? Who cares?
Well, he's past Surgical Extraction and Grafdigger's Cage is on the battlefield, so Company's already handled.
Oh, sure.
I mean, they're both bad. Because Dan doesn't care about Surgical at all now.
Yeah, this is kind of one of the better scenarios for Musser here, where it's just like, all your cards are terrible. Yes.
Yeah. I think you still take Company because he could kill the Grafdigger's Cage. So, yeah, you might as well just take that. So, all right. Let's go over to Nance. Draw. Temple Garden. Okay.
Awkward card.
Working towards a little something here, maybe. Musser is going to sacrifice the map. I got to imagine Seagate Wreckage.
Yeah, I think that's the card to get here.
Yeah, he's loved searching that one up when we've watched him play this deck. And Nance isn't ready to fire off a Ghost Quarter just yet. And this is Eldrazi showing some of its resiliency, Craig, because the Ghost Quarter plus Surgical has been ready here for Nance for a while. No effect on the game.
Yeah, the turn 3 Reality Smasher, just too much this game.
Mm-hmm.
Dan really hasn't drawn that many actionable spells here, but just enough to stay in control.
There's Seagate Wreckage. Last card in hand is a Ghost Quarter.
Yeah, I'm surprised he played the Seagate Wreckage and just let it get blown up here.
Well, it's one less land for Hunter Nance to operate with, so perhaps he's okay with it.
Sure, that I can see that argument.
Last time to untap and draw. Is there a good draw here for Hunter Nance? Path to Exile would be just fine. A blocker isn't bad. What do we got? Tireless Tracker plus the land means that he could actually trade here with the Thought-Knot Seer. All right.
We're hanging on.
We are really trying. Musser's going to draw. I didn't get a great look at it. He's got a lot of high win cards here. Karn, Walking Ballista, Reality Smasher. They're all deadly.
Another All Is Dust.
Also good. That's an Expedition map. And like you, I am surprised that he played the Seagate Wreckage that turn as opposed to the Ghost Quarter. Because now would be a great time for him to play Seagate Wreckage and draw a card.
Yeah, it would have been really strong, the extra card this turn.
Ghost Quarter's the land he's going to play. And yeah, he's not going to attack. So now Nance is going to put a counter on the tracker, draw a card, and maybe dig himself out of this hole. Let's go back over to Hunter Nance. He'll draw. Picked up a Courser of Crufix off of the Clue.
Yeah, we might see him Ghost Quarter himself.
I think it's about that time, yeah. And now he'll Ghost Quarter his plains after he floats a white mana, which means he's probably going to be searching up a basic forest now. Going to be doing it the hard way. There is that basic forest.
Can't blame him.
Gets a Clue token. And now, he needs double green here for the Courser. So he'll play a Courser. All right, top card, another Courser. Okay, play a land, get a Clue, and gain a life. He's up to 2.
Ooh, the value.
Ah, we're getting it. We've bought our ticket to Value Town. We have not gotten on the plane. The plane doesn't even have any gas in it yet. But we have our ticket. He hasn't played a land yet this turn. That we know. I'm curious what the confusion is. But He started his turn by tapping his planes for a white, ghost
Yep.
quartering himself, so he hasn't played a land yet.
Once again, legacy challenge players, your fourth and final round pairings have been posted at the gathering point. Please make your way to your seats again. Once again, legacy challenge players, your fourth and final.
All right, yeah, they're just going to confirm where they're at, and
And what ends up happening with, so yeah, the confusion there was you only get a clue from tracker when you play a land. No, that's actually not true because Evolving Wilds brings you 2 clues. So he should have more clues. He may have just missed his triggers. I take that back. Hunter might be thinking Ghost Quarter here though. Again, yeah, I think he should have more clues than he does have, but I think he just must have missed a trigger or 2. All right, Musser is going to sacrifice the Expedition map, it looks like. Maybe it's time to search for Sanctum of Ugin because the Seagate wreckage is long gone.
yeah, he doesn't have many other utility options here.
So there is the Sanctum of Ugin. And a way for Musser to win this game, well, there are a couple, but he's on the hunt for a Reality Smasher and maybe most importantly, Walking Ballista, as he'll draw a card. Didn't get a great look at it. We know he's got the Sanctum, though. Thought-Knot Seer, trigger. Surgical and Courser.
Well, I think we're well past the point in the game where the surgical extraction will be good.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything now. Musser's got no shortage of mana. And the question is, does he want to play the Sanctum?
Yeah, I don't think I'd deploy it. There's no reason to have it on the battlefield. It's protected in his hand.
All right, Hunter's going to sack that clue, draw a card. Courser, Crewfix added to the hand, neither Reliquary on top of the deck. Now remember, Musser can actually kind of help control Hunter Nance's draw step because he can Ghost Quarter him and make him shuffle if he chooses to. So a little bit interesting. Again, Hunter doesn't have to search. He can just lose his land. But something for Dan to think about along with Hunter's. Hunter's going to untap, draw neither Reliquary, top card, Surgical Extraction. A stinker. We're trying to take a trip to Value Town here, folks, but we're having a little bit of difficulty.
And with Musser having so many lands in play, we might see Hunter, potentially Ghost Quarter himself again. He'll gain more life, and he'll shuffle away this surgical extraction that he really doesn't want.
Yeah, I think that's about the last thing that he wants is there's neither Reliquary. There's a handful of lands down there in the graveyard. It looks like 5. Don't want to tip off Hunter to counter for Dan to ask, so if we can find out, and if Dan does ask, then it becomes public knowledge, but we don't want to tip off the players for that. So for now, neither Reliquary is in, and now he'll look at the graveyard, and it looks like there are 5 down there. See what else Hunter wants to do on this turn, if anything. I don't think we can start attacking. I don't think we're there yet.
No, not quite, but it's pretty close. If he gets the other Courser on the board and he can gain, kind of 4 life in a turn, he's out of the range of just one Thought-Knot Seer killing him. So I think he would definitely want to try to turn the corner there and start getting aggressive.
Hunter's going to target himself with the Ghost Quarter, sacrifice a Plains, get a Forest. So he'll gain life, get a clue. And more importantly, he's not going to draw Surgical Extraction.
Yep. All good things.
Yep. And then we'll see the top card of his deck here in just a moment. Top card, Company. Wah, wah. Sack a clue, draw a company. Noble Hierarch on top because he did float a mana. So he'll untap. He will likely draw the Hierarch. Yes. Next card, Windswept Heath. Value Town. Get a clue, gain a life, up to 4. Ballista getting out of range now.
Yep.
Starting to get out of range. Ghost Quarter on top.
Definitely getting tougher for the Ballista to just win this game. But, you know, if Musser draws the Ballista, I think it still will win the game, just not instantly through the damage. You know, having all those counters, all that utility is awesome. He would be able to sacrifice his Sanctum of Ugin to search for something. You know, just all these effects I think would be too much for a Hunter at this low life total.
Hunter's going to sacrifice the fetch land, so he'll lose a life. And then as long as he remembers his Courser trigger, he will gain a life. He'll get another clue as long as he remembers that trigger. And there's a basic forest. So 2 clues. Reality Smasher starting to get a lot worse now as a card that that Musser can draw as Hunter stays at 4. All Is Dust still good.
All Is Dust is still an instant winner.
Yep.
And that looks like it's about the 6th Courser of Crewfix that we've seen this game.
Yeah, no kidding. Don't know how many of those Hunter's playing. Of course we do. He's playing 4, but it feels like a lot more than that. Hunter's got another Courser in his hand along with a Noble Hierarch too, so.
Yeah, and Hunter did a lot of this. I guess his plan is to sacrifice the clues, which I don't mind. If he plays the Courser here.
Maybe he should have done that first.
Yeah, he should have led with that before he played the land off the top of his deck, before he started fetching with that land as well.
Because he missed out on some life there then.
Yeah.
Now, he can instantly gain some life. He can sacrifice Knight of Reliquary, get a fetch land, go up to 6, down to 5, up to 7.
Yes.
So, in theory, at 7, Tracker, Rumblin', Bumblin', Stumblin', easy block, top card. Urza's Mind, Tron Online. Draw. Are we in the draw step? Stan Musser really good at drawing Walking Ballista? The answer is no. This is a Surgical Extraction. It looks like on the Dustbuster. Yep. Cards, Power Plant, Sanctum.
Yeah, I don't hate that play.
No, me either. That takes out that I win condition.
Yes. And that was likely the most utility that Hunter Nance could have gotten out of this Surgical Extraction. So you might as well do it while you can.
So Hunter's trying to cut the outs here of his opponent. All His Dust gone. Still a little scared of Walking Ballista. But Dan hasn't drawn it yet as he plays a Power Plant. He's got all this mana out there.
And funny enough, Hunter Nance has Ghost Quartered himself, I think 3 times this game.
At least twice, maybe
twice.
maybe three, yeah.
Oh, it was the Seagate Wreckage was the 3rd one. So he hit himself twice. But anytime you know, do it yourself more than your opponent.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a fetch land. Clue, up to 4. Can go down to 3, up to 5, get another clue if he'd like.
He's going to look at the top card of his deck first, see if it's something that he's interested in.
So I guess he doesn't want that forest then, huh? But I guess he'll get it off the fetch land. He'll shuffle again here real quick. He's up to 5, another clue. He's got 4 clues now, so no shortage of clues, which means he's going to see 2 or 3 cards a turn getting real soon here.
Yeah, lots of cards. And the Knight of the Reliquary, it's got to start being, you know, 8, 9, 9 range, something like that.
Uh-oh. There's the Excavator. I think that's what he was looking for. Now, Hunter says, I want to draw a card, and Dan says, I'm going to Ghost Quarter you. Kill your Gravity Township. Fine. I'm not searching for a basic. I want this Excavator. Top card's a Temple Garden.
Yeah, the Excavator can just get back immediately the land that was just Ghost Quartered.
All right, I think the plane might be gassed up. Hunter might be he might be checking in now.
Yeah, the Value Town car is he's got the kids in the car.
Yeah, everybody's buckled in.
The trunk is full.
Yep.
The family's ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Heading on down the highway, kids.
It might be that time. Yeah. As now it's time to start attacking. It looks like Tracker is 7-6. Now the Reliquary. Let's just go with Big. Let's just assume Big. I'm going to assume that Musser can take this hit.
Well, they're both big at this point.
Oh, I guess he can't take this hit because there's a block. Hunter gets to draw a card from that dying, so Temple Guard, a Noble Hierarch on top. 3 mana, I gotta imagine it's time for Excavator. Yes. So now he can play lands from his graveyard, Crucible World style. Give me a Ghost Quarter. Is he gonna go to the Heath?
I don't hate this. It's more clues and more life total.
Maybe no Ghost Quarters in the graveyard. I feel like I'm wrong about that. I don't know if maybe like a Relic took care of him or something like that. Gonna sacrifice. Get a forest. That is more life. Dan Musser's got access to 14 mana right now.
Yep.
So that's 7 for Ballista. Hunter's out of that range. All right. Get Courser of Crufix go. Surgical Extraction down there in... That Surgical Extraction is usually the top card of the deck.
Yeah, and Hunter has the option of just drawing it at any point off of a clue.
Yep. That's an Urza's Mine. I think we're officially there. Because there's a Sanctum of Ugin. I think we're at Value Town.
We've arrived.
I think we're there. Hunter's going to draw that Surgical Extraction. Rami have Excavator.
I mean, the last piece of the puzzle is the Azusa, right?
Yeah, basically.
Where you can just get to Ghost Quarter 3 times a turn.
Yeah, or just play as many lands a turn as you want. Like, yeah, you've basically got it all.
And Hunter, from 1 life this game.
From 1 life, and at one point, double Plains, double Ghost Quarter.
Yes.
Was his battlefield. Facing down a Reality Smasher. Peeled the path to take care of the Smasher. Discarded his Whisperwood Elemental. Then a Thought Knot Seer was there. Found some ways to chump block it and stay alive. And now look where we are. He's got 600 clues. In a million Knight of the Reliquary.
A bunch of life.
And everybody in there. You got to block the Knight of the Reliquary. Obviously, that's going to do it. Hunter Nance going to win this match over Dan Musser. 2-1. One hell of a comeback there for Nance, but he gets the job done. Green White Company, a.k.a. Value Town, 5.